What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the NRW Checkpoint with your host, myself, WebsterStyle, the man, the voice of Ferguson. Of course, I'm joined always by my man, Brian Sapph. Brian, how you doing today, sir?
Doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm awake. I'm
Yeah, I
functioning, so
see.
I can't complain. So, Brian, I got a quick question for you before
Uh-huh.
we get into the gaming. Sony can't catch a break this week, man. Like, not
Listen,
at all.
it's what did you hear? Because it's been a whirlwind of things.
Well, first we talked last week about Forspoken. We talked about some of the issues that people were having, but also Microsoft dropped Hi-Fi Rush, and the fact that
Mm,
Hi-Fi Rush came out like a day or two later than Forspoken,
mm.
cost more than half the price. So we're talking about Forspoken $69.99. Hi-Fi Rush is $29.99. Hi-Fi Rush on PC still earned more than Forspoken.
And I actually anticipated that. I've been seeing some of my gamer friends saying, they're taking the criticisms and the ratings to heart, and they're like, we're just gonna catch a sale on it. And then I have a friend that actually bought it. He's been playing it. He's enjoying it. So yeah,
Yeah,
Forspoken is having a little rough launch, but we'll see what happens moving forward.
right. But not just that.
Mhm.
Then news
The
came out
VR too.
that, yeah, they aren't hitting their VR2 goals. They had to ramp it down to a 1.5 million is that targeted goal or something like that.
They need to break it down some more.
They really do. And you and I were talking, and we were just saying this is just not the right time for that. And it's
Right.
interesting. One of the things that I saw when someone was talking about it was we're getting more and more, especially with VR, compared to say when a VR, PSVR first one came out.
Hmm.
No one wants a $599 system unit that you connect to something else that's also $599. You're paying
Right. Right.
$1,200 for the equipment, and you don't even have a game yet, as far as that
Right.
is concerned. So that was something somebody brought up that I thought that that's a interesting piece of it. And with that, you're right. You get something like the Oculus, even though it is maybe not as graphically intensive as far as a
Okay. Yeah.
normal Oculus, it's
Hmm.
still a standalone unit. And you're
Right.
paying the same amount for a standalone unit. And then someone else brought up, and it's something we talked about, it's not backwards compatible.
Right.
So
So
it's like,
yeah, you got this limited amount of games. The base, which is the PlayStation 5, still costs almost $600. And if we being honest, it's not readily available quite yet. I know
right,
they put out a press release earlier this week saying, yeah, we know we ramping up production and the supply chain issues are no longer going to be a problem. You should be able to walk into a store and get one. It's still not the case. I know I see they selling a lot of these bundles, but if I want to just go and get a PlayStation 5 without buying a brand new game with it as well, they're not selling it like that. So I don't know. It's a weird time. We talked
right.
about it. I feel like they should have maybe waited till next year to do
Yeah.
this. But I also hear news that them Nintendo and Xbox are not participating in E3 this year. So maybe they just don't have anything else to put out and they just like, let's just do this.
You know, the interesting about that is, if I remember correctly, Nintendo hadn't really been there like that in the past. Same with Sony. I feel like Sony skipped out in the last few also. So
Yeah.
Microsoft was the last one that had the big, like extravagant, easy press conference. So,
Mm-hmm.
you
And
know,
now
if
they're
I'm
saying they're doing
Microsoft,
their own thing.
right.
So
It's sad. It's well, things change, but it's just sad that
yeah.
E3 is essentially dead. Because let's be frank, from a watching and waiting for E3,
Mm-hmm.
most of us, there's no reason for us to do it anymore.
Right.
So
I mean, I still want to go just to
yeah, I want
experience
to go.
E3.
Yeah, yeah.
And because I'm not just, gaming is our thing or whatever. But I'm really into technology and stuff as well. I want to see what all of the other people who are not Apple plan on putting out for this year. But maybe next time, I guess, because
we'll
I
see.
will want the gamers to be there as well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see next year. But let's get into some games. First up, we have Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, and this is on the Xbox One S and X, and of course, it's on Game Pass. It's a real-time strategy from Forgotten Empires and published by Xbox Game Studios. So this is the 2019 real-time strategy game that was developed by Forgotten Empires and published by Xbox Game Studios. It's a remaster of the 1999 game Age of Empires 2, The Age of Kings, celebrating the 20th anniversary of the original. It features significantly improved visuals, supports 4K resolution, and includes all previous expansions from the original and HD edition. Now, this is big because this is now the first time this is going to be on consoles. Mm-hmm. So even though the game was originally put out for PCs in 2019, it is now making its way to consoles. So that's the big thing about that. Now, Brian, are you into RTSs at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Age of Empire, that game, I think I tried to play it one time because I'm a big Civilization fan. So I tried to get an Age of Empire, but it wasn't pulling me like I wanted to be pulled. Either way,
gotcha.
It's saying a lot about technology these days that they remastering this game. It's gonna be in 4K and they putting it on consoles because PC games rarely port to console. Like
right, exactly. Especially RTSs.
Right. Because they're long-winded games. Now, that's one thing, real-time strategy games, especially the ones like that, Age of Empires, Civilization, Roller Coaster Tycoon, even like all of these computer games that involve strategy and have a real-time element to it. Woo, you putting hours in. So
yeah.
All right. People enjoy it. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, that's one of the very well heralded RTS series that are out there. So I would,
fan base.
Yes, they have a fan base. So I would not be surprised if there are a lot of people excited for that to finally debut on consoles, at least in this case on the Xbox consoles.
Right.
So, all right. Next up, we have a game that when I saw the title, I'm like, what is this? It is Inkulinati, and this is dropping for the Xbox One, SX, Switch, and PC, and it is on Game Pass day one. It's a strategy game. We're in with the strategy this year, or today, I should say. So from publisher or developer, Yaza Games, publisher, Datalytic Entertainment. So Inkulinati is an ink-based strategy straight from medieval manuscripts where a rabbit's bum can be deadlier than a dog's sword. Okay. Become a master of the living ink. Build your own bestiary. Defeat medieval superstars and collect perks to unleash hidden powers. Okay, that is just a weird description. So I'm glad we are watching the trailer.
Right. I agree.
That's an interesting one. I'm like, all right, we'll see. Now, next up, we have a game that is exclusively console-wise to the PlayStation, and this is one that I feel like I know we're watching the trailer for this one. I feel like we've seen this before, or I've seen it before in general, and it is Season, A Letter to the Future, and this is on PS4 and 5 and PC. It's an adventure game from publisher-developer Scavenger Studio. So in this game, you play as a young woman from a secluded village exploring the world by bike for the first time, collecting memories before a cataclysm washes everything away. Your journey brings you to a strange valley where the seeds of the next season haven't played it. Now we're watching the trailer for this, and it looks really interesting and intriguing. You know, we always talk about those story-based games and how those small indie games really are able to grab you when the selects one that might do it for us, Brian.
Right. Yeah, this sounds interesting. That's a wait. We watched the trailer, you said, right?
Yes, we are watching the trailer for this one.
Okay, yeah. And I feel like I heard about this as well. That's
Yeah,
why I'm
same
interested.
here.
I feel like we might have watched it. Did it already come out?
It did not, which is it may have because it sounded familiar, but I didn't see anything saying that we watched it before. So I feel like it may have come out in a PlayStation Direct. I think PlayStation might have talked about it in their last Direct.
Okay.
Or it had been hyped up.
Yeah.
But it sounded familiar, but I couldn't find any evidence of us looking at it before today.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll take a look at it in the trailers.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Next one we have We Are Forever. This is for the PS4, 5, and Xbox One S and X. It's a puzzle game from Total Mayhem Games. In this game, it tells the story of two characters as they escape a mysterious dungeon. As they are about to escape the physical dungeon, they are captured by the king's jester. Despite being a captive himself, the jester still does the king's bidding. So that's an interesting game where you are captured as you're leaving the physical dungeon, it seems like you're trapped in some sort of metaphysical dungeon by the jester who is doing the king's bidding. So we're not watching the trailer for that one, but that one sounds interesting nonetheless.
It does. Sounds like Inception, the game.
Yeah, yes. All right. Next up, we have Chef Life, a restaurant simulator. There have been a lot of simulators, man. There's a simulator. Well, this is the one thing I've seen. There are so many simulators out that so many are making their way over to the console space. And this one is no different because this one is dropping for the PS4, 5, Xbox One, SX, Switch, and PC. Obviously, it's a simulation from Sinai Studio as a developer and Nacon as the publisher. So in Chef Life, a restaurant simulator, it puts you in total control of all aspects of a restaurant, from buying ingredients to plating dishes. You must serve the best food while supervising your teams, designing the decor, and managing the service. And also in the box cover art, you also have like the Michelin guide that's in there too. So they really go
Michelin star rated?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So you're definitely able to utilize that branding and what comes with that in the game. So if you ever wanted to create your own virtual restaurant all the way down to what you purchase from your suppliers, this is the game for you.
Yeah. Get my Chef Ramsay on. Or firing some of you non-cookers.
Right. Yeah. They just opened up, speaking of Chef Ramsay, they opened up a Hell's Kitchen near me. So that'll be interesting, not too far away. So might be something to travel to in the near future
got to check it out.
So yeah, definitely. So next up we have Deliver Mars, which is a game that just sounds cool when we talk about Mars. This is dropping on the PS4, 5, Xbox One, SX, and PC, and we are watching the trailer for that. And it is an adventure game from Kyoken Interactive. They spell it really funky.
Yeah.
So excuse me for that. Developer and Frontier Industry as the publisher. Now, this is actually a sequel to 2019's Deliver Us the Moon. The game is about saving our world and uncovering the mystery behind an abandoned colony on Mars. Motion capture cutscenes and gorgeous visuals bring to life a rich story. So I'm looking forward to that just for the mocap. And also, you talk about that story-based adventure game, uncovering mysteries. Sounds like something that you and I would both be interested in.
Yeah, that does sound interesting.
All right, last up. Now, mind you, there are other games coming out this week. There's a new SpongeBob game, a couple of games that have come out on other systems that are debuting for Xbox and Switch and PC. But these are all games we've covered before. So don't take this list as a definitive what's coming out. These are just some highlights of what's coming out.
Right.
And last on the list this week is Tales, the Backbone Prelude. And this is an adventure game for publisher, developer, Eggnut, and then Raw Fury. It takes place before the events of Backbone. Tales, the Backbone Preludes is a narrative game following 4 characters through formative moments of change, circumstance, and consequences in life, and told through a series of interactive games. Now, I actually played Backbone when it was on Game Pass, and I love it was very stylized detective game with anthropomorphic characters like foxes and things of that nature, and animals. So I really enjoyed the game for the time I played it. So I'm very interested to see what this Tales from the Backbone really has to offer compared to the original game. And this is only on PC.
Okay. Oh, it's only on PC. I was about to say.
Yeah, only on PC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
So maybe it'll come out on console, because I know that Backbone is on Xbox and PlayStation and Switch, if I remember correctly. So maybe it's just some time before they actually port it over.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Prelude. They make your money. Like, come on now.
Exactly, make your money. So speaking of making money, let's make them some advertising dollars, and let's check out the trailer for Deliver Us Mars.
Okay. Deliver Us Mars.
Sarah? Ryan? This is Kathy. Can you hear me? Please come in.
Mission Opera has only one objective. Bring the Arks and their revolutionary technology back home.
Looks good.
I was just about to say, like, are we out of space?
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
I need to know that when we get there, you'll make the right decisions. We can do this.
Okay.
What do you expect to find on Mars?
Martians, duh. What do you mean?
I'm impressed.
Me too. It looks really, really good. And this is like a space game, pretty much. I mean, you're on Mars. But I like that it don't feel like really like supernatural. It feel like this could happen, sometime in the next 10, 20, 30.
Yeah, it's very grounded.
Yeah, there we go. It's really, really grounded. It doesn't feel like too out of the ordinary. It don't feel too extraordinary. It just feels like, you are a scientist who is also an astronaut, and you're on Mars trying to discover Martians. Duh. Why would they talk about? What are you looking for? I'm looking for more life. What are you talking about? And maybe some water. So I like that. I don't know. I've never played a game that doesn't have like a high level of fantasy or make-believe to it. So I don't know. I'm really interested in that, just to like see how the story plays out, because that's what's going to drive a game like that. So it's dope.
Yeah, I agree. This one, I'm really surprised that, again, this isn't next gen, like dedicated graphics sort of game, but the style they took makes it look very realistic.
Yes.
And it is detailed as it needs to be.
Right.
I really appreciate that. I get, even from the trailer, there's very much a sense of immersion in this world and going to Mars and the space. Like, I am excited for this game. Like, I am pleasantly surprised at what we saw there.
Yeah, I agree. Wasn't expecting that, but that's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. All right. So we were both very impressed by Deliver Us Mars. Let's see how Season, A Letter to the Future, holds up.
I feel like I know this game.
I left my home to record the world before it ends.
Oh, no, I don't. Nope.
To find out, what is this season?
Like this art style, though.
And why is it? I cycled across the earth until I came upon a strange valley and met the last remaining inhabitants. A widow.
I always like cel-shaded games. Something about them just
old artist. A community organizer.
Yeah, I agree.
a reclusive monk. I was with them in the final moments before the evacuation. Who are they? What kind of power shaped their lives? And how is it connected to what will happen to us? If the answers aren't in my journal, if these lives aren't captured here, they'll be lost in the turning of the season.
I'm very intrigued in this one too.
I'm definitely feeling like the art style, like you said, there's something about when developers use that. And again, cell shading is such a blanket term, but it's really not that when you really think about it. But people know what we talk about. Mm-hmm. But when they use that sort of shaded art style, really to convey emotion, to convey character.
Right.
And this game seems like it's just chock full of it. And I'm impressed. It's always these little indie games that really are able to just convey this heart and soul. Like, they make you remember why you love games.
Yes,
you know,
I agree.
Especially nowadays. It just well, it's been a busy week for me. I was I got spotted on the Hot Seat podcast for their 100th episode, talking about High Five Rush, and I talked about of course I dropped the NRW checkpoint while I'm talking. I talked about how you and I often talk about story, about uniqueness, about bringing something brand new to the table and not seeing the same cookie cutter genre, cookie cutter style of game, cookie cutter sequel over and over and over and over and over again. Right. And how we both talk about how we really appreciate a game like Season, a game like Deliverers Mars, where they are forging something new and different while trying to tell us a new and unique story. So yeah, I to the developers of that game in Deliverers Mars, not Marvel. My hats off to you. I haven't played these games, but just seeing these trailers, I can just tell there's something special.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. Something about even the game, like it felt grounded. This one did as well, Seasons, and I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of depth there as well. Like, I don't know exactly why she's, trying to uncover these mysteries or record these things, but just the presentation of the characters, how beautiful the landscape looks, and just the game in general. I'm very, very intrigued. Like, I want to understand this game, the story and the plot behind it. I tell people all the time, I'm not much of a book reader. I read articles on websites and shit all day if I could, but I'm not really into page turners. It is what it is. But video games are like my books, especially RPGs, stories like this that have some kind of depth to them that connects with you on a human level. I really appreciate games like that. So I'm interested to see how Season fares.
Me too. Now let's see. We can go 3 for 3. Mm-hmm. Let's check out the trailer for Inkulinati.
This sounded like shoot, bang.
Emergence of medieval books, a testimony to how we misunderstood the Middle Ages.
Oh, look, even this look good. What?
Les escargots combattent les chevaux.
That look like a real scene from a show, though, a movie or something. These are real people, or that's the game?
I think those are real people. Yeah.
Oh, okay, they're explaining the game. Okay, I see. Uh-oh. They shit on us, man. What was that?
Le rituel que nous ne connaissons pas, mais qui existait à l'époque.
Oh,
see, look at that.
I wasn't ready for that.
Right. What is with the projectile shit? What's going on with that? Okay. was supposed it came out in 2021. Okay, so these games are this one's coming to
I wasn't ready.
Me either. And
yeah. Wow.
You know, I will say I think this game, like I wasn't ready for what we just saw either, but I appreciate the quirkiness.
Yes.
I could tell that these developers, they were like, you know what? Let's just have a good time with this game. It's not even like it's a side scroller, right? It looks like a platformer to me. I didn't really see any
platform puzzle. So it I don't know. I know this much.
Yeah.
I'm playing it just because I need to see how I need to see. So you will be seeing footage from this on the socials by the time the weekend comes. Because I gotta play this just to see what this is like. Because this looks that was a great trailer. It was a great commercial for it.
It was.
Hey, gentlemen, I got that was the teaser. Apparently, I found another longer trailer launch that dropped 2 days ago. Would you like to see that?
Yeah, let's go for it.
See a little bit more because I think we're all intrigued. Here we go.
Yeah. Let's do it.
7 facts about the Inkulinati.
Okay, that's how you say it.
Inkulinati. The Inkulinati travel the lands and battle one another by drawing beasts with the living ink on the pages of medieval manuscripts.
Okay.
Living ink is a precious substance. Use it to draw an army of your own beasts and replenish it by slaying your foes. In this game? Really? Skillfully command your beasts. Use positioning to advantage and attack your enemies. Be sure to harness your beast's special abilities. Is this game basically a strategy game?
I just said that.
Time your attacks with deadly precision. Timing's everything. You got that one right. The hand that wields the quill shall not only summon beasts, but also deal damage, shove beasts around, and heal the wounded with a gesture. Did I just see a donkey with a trumpet up its... Embark on a journey, visit unique locations, collect gold and prestige, build your own bestiary, defeat medieval superstars. That's interesting. Collect perks to unleash hidden powers. Maybe one day you will even talk to a goose. Oh, and you can duel other Inkulinati in a hot seat mode. Choose the right manuscript for you. Set your preferences and duel until all ink is gone. I'll duel. I'll hot seat the living ink out of you. Memento mori. The impending apocalypse is nigh. You think Latin makes you sound fancy, huh? Hellish fire or a deadly plague. Even the most fierce battle will come to an end. Those who live by the ink die by the ink. But their story lasts forever. Where do I get it? Do I need to sign up for it? See what I did there? A curse on thee, O pen. Just let me play. Okay?
Okay. That's dope.
I'm feeling that. I feel like there needs to be a holy hand grenade somewhere.
You never know.
I straight up get Monty. Yeah, I get Monty Python vibes from this doing that whole commercial. I think that was done intentionally.
This
I'm
dope though. I like that it's that level of strategy that it's not coming on any other things I own. What's going on? Because I want to play that.
Brian, I keep telling you, $1. $1, you get it for a month. $1.
Oh wait, it's gonna be on Switch. I can play it on the Switch.
Okay, all right, Switch. You got to Switch. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, so that's our look at some highlights from this week in gaming. Brian, what's up with you this week?
Kind of got it right this time. I was over here. The Talk+Play blerdcast. I just put out a new episode like a couple hours ago, actually, last night. I was inspired by the news that James Gunn's dropped on us about his plans for his iteration of the DCU. I'm excited. Everything sounds phenomenal in this part 1 of phase 1. entitled Gods and
Gods
Monsters.
and Monsters, yes.
Yeah. Check me out. I'm here talking about it. Not too long either. I gave you 29 minutes of me, I believe. I gave you 29. You get through that. It's interesting because I'm excited. Other than that, I'm on here with you talking about these games. What about yourself? What you got going on this week?
Sounds good. Well, I'll be talking about that next week in episode 142. 141 just dropped this week, and I'm talking about Hi-Fi Rush. I'm talking about the Royal Rumble and my impressions on that, which you can also find more about that with my man Kuya P and Sean Mangold talking on the Kayfabe Baby, the Ring Generals podcast, or the NRW Ring Generals podcast that's going to be dropping soon, episode 1 this week, as well as talking about Such a Picard season 3 trailer, and of course fragrances, smell goods, and all that good stuff as well. So, but you are not with Talk and Play Blerdcast, you're not with Sartorial Geek Podcast, you're currently with Nerds Rule the World. Make sure you check us out on Twitter at the NRW. Make sure you find us on Instagram at New Release Wednesday. And of course, you're currently on YouTube, so make sure you like, share, and of course, subscribe.
Right now, because I said so.